Every time, every time. What number is Good evening. Calling to order the regular meeting of the Jackson City Council. Today's date is November 18th, and it is approximately 6:02 p.m. For the record, we do have a quorum. We have Councilman Ashby Foote via life size. We have 3 here on the dais, and we're expecting another council person to appear via life size due to travel. But I just want to be clear that we do have a quorum. If someone could please quiet them in the lobby, I'd appreciate it. We're going to begin with the invocation by Mr. Ben Russell of the Rabbinical Student and Spiritual Leader of Beth Israel Synagogue and Congregation, which represents Ward 1. And then I will invite Councilman Vernon Hartley, who's Vice President, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Thank you very much. Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the universe, God of our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, God who calls us to justice, compassion, and love of neighbor. We gather tonight as one community seeking wisdom for the good of Jackson. We thank you for this city, for its courage, its creativity, its long memory, and its enduring hope. Bless this council and all who serve our people. Grant them the strength to lead with integrity, the humility to listen, and the clarity to seek what is right over what is easy. In the spirit of all of our shared traditions, teach us to wrap one another in love, even when we disagree. Remind us, as your prophets taught, that every person is created B'Tselem Elohim in the image and likeness of God, and therefore is worthy of dignity and respect. Help us, Holy One, to forgive those who hurt us, to soften our hearts toward one another, and to rise above anger and cynicism. May we be builders of peace in a time that hungers for healing. Bring restoration to our city. Where there is division, sow unity. Where there is pain, bring comfort. Where there is distrust, plant understanding. And where there is despair, kindle hope. Let the work done here tonight honor the best of who we are and who we long to be. May justice roll down like waters in Jackson, and may mercy flow through every street. We pray this in the name of God Almighty, and let us say, Amen.
Let's face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. All right, colleagues, we're going to go ahead with public hearings, public comment. The rules are everyone who speaks on public comment gets 3 minutes. At the 2.5 minute mark, the clerk will flag you, letting you know you have 30 seconds left. Once your 3 minutes are up, she will hold up a red sign that says that's your time, and we politely ask that you cease public comment at that time. If you choose to be disobedient and go over, then the teacher has to step in, okay? So let's all be obedient with the 3 minute rule. First, we have Mr. Kenneth Cleveland speaking on non-agenda item, economic development with renewable energy. Mr. Cleveland, please turn on the mic there and state your name for the record, please.
My name is Kenneth D. Cleveland. Good evening. Good evening to the council.
Good evening.
Good evening to the citizens of Jackson and the state of Mississippi. I represent Universal Solar Enterprises, LLC. Universal Solar Enterprises, LLC was one of the first pioneers to build a solar farm in the state of Mississippi, one of the first minorities to sell power to the largest utility company in the state of Mississippi, proof of concept. Secondly, we took that same solar system and put it on a rooftop building, commercial building in Jackson, Mississippi, to prove that we can cut electricity 70% on their electric bill. Second, proof of concept. Next, we took the EV charging station and we opened and operate the first EV charging station by a minority in the state of Mississippi, in Canton, Mississippi. Proof of concept. Now I'm coming here today for an action plan to demonstrate to the city of Jackson how we can take this proof of concept that's already been proven in China, California, Europe. What we're gonna do, we wanna build a solar farm on our property in Jackson and sell electricity to EVs. So we'll be asking the city, the citizen, all hands on board to go buy electric cars, to come to the charging station so my company can invest money back into our community. Now, how is this gonna benefit us? Well, it's gonna affect health, because if 25% of all emissions, greenhouse emissions, come from cars. So if we eliminate a certain percentage of the automobile, we breathe cleaner air. If you're breathing cleaner air, then your children that you see go to school every day, wake up in the morning, they'll be breathing air, because affecting your lungs is a long-term critical issue that we have in our community. So Jackson is condensed. So if we go electric cars and use the charging stations to power, then we could use the money from the charging station to reinvest directly back into our community so we can control our own destiny. We don't need anyone help. So what I would be asking for the council is support to address the crime issue. With crime, we do workforce training. And we do workforce training, we address directly where the crime is coming from, 16-year-old to 25-year-old, and we get back to developing skills for our community. Because when I was going to school, we had something called industrial, where you have a skill, and somehow we got away from that. We got to get back to using our hands, and we got to get back to teaching our youth how to use their hands to build. We got to go back to building. So that's just, I know we don't have much time, but I would like all the citizens to come forward. Let's go electric, invest in the EV charging station on my property, and I recycle our dollars back into our community. Thank you. Have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Cleveland. Is Mr. Raliko Ashakara present? Come forward, please, sir. And talk about the art show. This side, please.
How you doing? Thank you, Sir Brian Griselle. Thank you, City Council President Griselle, for inviting me to speak before the City Council. Thank you, City Council, for making me feel welcome to speak. And thank you, Mayor Horn, for viewing my artwork at the Art Center of Mississippi as a program of the Municipal Art Gallery. Thank you to the Turner Martin Art Center manager, and thank you to Monica Hill of the Municipal Art Gallery for organizing this event. Thank you, Stephen Brown of the Briarwood Art Center and Christina McPhail of Wood Grain Studios for event day enhancement. I'd also like to thank the following organizations: the Mississippi Arts Commission, Traditions Wine and Spirit, Pork and Cheese Charcuterie Company, and Urban Foxes as sponsors for my painting exhibition. Thank you to all my educators in JPS, especially APEC. Thank you to my college professors, my family and artistic community that has shown me love, and I appreciate individual support as well. If I have not made a direct mention, please blame it on my head and not my heart. I'm truly thankful to the higher power that be for consistently making a way. I would like to invite everyone in this room and all that hear this message to come and see my show at the Art Center of Mississippi. This show is especially special as it's connected to a series of shows that have been conducted at the museum to welcome Jackson artists to present monthly exhibitions in a growing arts district. This comes at an especially ideal time as my show was on display in the room next to the Big Mama's Quilt Circle, curated by Stephanie Brown, and opened the same weekend as the Folk Arts Festival. I'm excited for the ability to work with so many talented and intelligent people. I look forward to Jackson rising through the cultivation of the arts and hope you get a chance to see my exhibition titled Wildly Refined before November 30th, and keep an eye out for all other shows at the Art Center of Mississippi on 201 Pascagoula Street, downtown, between the Tharmar Hall, the Planetarium, and the Mississippi Museum of Art. And again, I'd just like to thank Mr. Griselle, who is my was a teacher at Murrah.
Been there long.
At Murrah High School, has done an extraordinary job and continues to strive through education. And yeah, and so just I'm in gratitude for everyone here, and I just want to welcome you. How you doing, sir? Great, sir. And I just want to extend a warm welcome and invite to the show, and I just look forward to seeing your faces. Also, you can either schedule a visit through the Art Center, and when you do, you can even welcome me to speak as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Lee Bernard, Brookwood Bridges.
Thank you to the mayor and the city council. My name is Lee Bernard, and I come before you to speak on 3 items. The most appealing item that we have down in Brookwood is that we have a bridge that's about to fall in. And if that particular bridge falls in, they leave about 20 houses that can't get out of the neighborhood. We need your help. We have been before you before. They have come out and looked at it, but nothing has happened. We need your help to take care of this bridge. In addition to the bridge, we have a water hole at the end of Brookwood Place. They have come out and looked at that hole, and nothing has happened. Again, we need your help. There's also a creek that runs through Brookwood neighborhood. It has a lot of trees growing out of it, which makes the neighborhood flood. We need the help of the city of Jackson to come out and take a look at it. So we have an opportunity. They've been out before and looked at it, but nothing has happened. And we've been before you before, and nothing has happened. So we're just asking for your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bernard. Next, we have Mr. James Hobson, Community Involvement.
Hello, Mayor and council members. My name is James Hobson, and I'm the owner of Hobson's Junk Removal. Some of you may have seen my company on the news, cleaning. I've done several projects with a couple of the council members that know of me. I started Hobson's Junk Removal back in 2021 around the COVID area, and we've done a variety of jobs here in the city of Jackson, helping the elderly. We helped when the water crisis was going on. We came out and delivered to the elderly. We did when the garbage crisis was going on here in the city of Jackson. My company came out and picked up trash for free for the elderly, didn't charge a dime. You know, it was around the clock effort by everybody, but my company was one of the companies that was here. But the issue that I'm having is that I had it with the last administration as well. I've been applying for employment with the city of Jackson because I have such a close connection with the community and the people here with my business. And I've basically just been getting a runaround. No answers as to why I can't be employed or why I won't be employed. I've interviewed, great interviews from what I was told, but just no kind of feedback. So I'm just here tonight to just ask the mayor, council members, if you can, just check and see what could possibly be going on, because I love the city of Jackson. I've been here for years doing several projects to help the community and the city. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hobson. Ms. Addie Green, Alamo Theater.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, the council. Chairman, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me to come and talk about an upgrade for Ferris Street. I heard that y'all had some money, and if you got some money, I'd like to make a recommendation that you open back up the Alamo Theater at whatever cost necessary. And then Mrs. Peach's restaurant, where we used to come and eat that soul food and have good blues. I'd like to offer that suggestion to you all. If you ain't got no money, go find some. You got some grant writers. So Ferris Street, I want to say that Alamo, as young folk growing up, we used to go there and buy that popcorn. And the community enjoyed that. And so if we could go back to that and allow our children in our public schools. I serve on the Jackson Hines Library Board, and we want some input from our young folks besides having guns and whatever hate that they got going on. We want to make sure that they are able to use that Alamo and bring good skills to our Ferris Street so that we all can enjoy. And Mrs. Peacher was a part of my 90 and above Mississippi outreach. And it would be so good if we could name that building. They said the city owned it. They could name that building after Miss Peaches. It would be so awarding, like you did Bobby Rush Street. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green. Colleagues, now we're going to move to agenda items. Speaking on agenda item number 15 is Megan Stewart.
Hello, my name is Megan Dorothy Stewart. I am a product of JPS, the Gifted Program, APAC, Murrah, Ole Miss, graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science. So when I read this proposal for airport land, I understood it very well. My father's an attorney. I've worked with him before, so that was very simple for me to understand. And since my grandparents are activists and were educated in the community, I also understand what racism looks like in Mississippi. And this airport deal is inherently racist. I spoke with my ward council member, Ward 7 Kevin, and he's happy to support racism. Apparently 3 more people on this council support racism in Mississippi. And if you don't understand what racism is, when a majority Black city has been hindered financially by the state and they try to incorporate their own land but are denied and have to pay outside white city municipalities money, that's racism. And they're saying, oh, well, we didn't give the land away. Well, it's not about the land, it's about the money. So you're talking down to the individual, saying like, and playing in their face with the money that's coming from this deal. And I find that very disrespectful. And it should really be a shame on all of you who supported this deal, because it is inherently racist. We should be able to incorporate all of our land and build, unless in this deal, we're getting this match for match on the quantity of land and the degree of property that can be built to the same wealth on land in Pearl and Flowood, which I doubt we will be, because again, I know this is racist. So unless this deal is canceled, I will continue to report how the city of Jackson, the mayor, Uncle Ruckus, Mayor Horn, are sellouts to the city of Jackson and support racism. It is the people that are supporting this deal is what's wrong with America. They're basically supporting Trump with this deal because they don't respect Black people enough to fight for them to have all the wealth that they can get. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stewart. I want the record to reflect that we also have Councilman Brown Thomas via life size, and we also have Councilman Stokes on the dais. So we have a total of 6. All right, Mr. Zach Service, item 13.
Good evening, Zach Service, resident of Jackson. I truly appreciate the heart this council has for keeping people safe. I know the intention behind the ordinance for parades is good. We all want safe parades, neighborhoods, and a safer city for families. My concern tonight is simply whether this proposal will actually accomplish that. First, there's no evidence that banning lawful firearms along a parade route will prevent the kind of violence we've seen in the past. Those incidents happened after the parades ended, during personal disputes, long after police had left. Disarming responsible citizens during the parade itself would not have stopped those moments. Second, we have to discuss enforcement. JPD is already stretched thin. A ban like this only affects people already following the law, not the people who are breaking it. And we don't have checkpoints or controlled entry. In crowds of over 20,000 people, taking away someone's ability to protect their family doesn't make them safer, it makes them more vulnerable. And I talked with Councilman Parkinson and I shared some of my personal experiences where I've been faced with gun violence and I had a decision to make to protect people that weren't even my own family. I've been involved in drive-by shootings as an Uber driver and had to protect my passengers and make sure that they got home safely right off of Ellis Avenue and Southside Assembly. Oh God, these are real stories. And I'm a father and a husband. I don't want to be in a crowd of 20,000 people in a public right-of-way without the ability to defend myself. So I'm asking that if you do continue with this ordinance, that you at least make an exemption for those with enhanced carry permits to allow them. Statistically, they are the most vetted, trained, and background checked citizens in the state and the lowest risk group of firearm carriers that we have. I also do want to point out gently that this ordinance bundles firearms, grills, and glass bottles together, whereas I believe that this should be separated issues, perhaps one dealing with the littering, then the other dealing with firearms so that they can be separately discussed. Now, when it comes to the glass and it comes to the grills and stuff, open fires, I understand the concerns with that. And I also voice my concerns that we're already not enforcing the littering laws we have. We're dealing with litter all across the parade grounds every year, but there's already laws about littering. So if we're not enforcing the laws we already have, is it really in the best interest of the citizens for us to write more? So I know we all want to keep Jackson safe. We want the parades to be fun, but I'm asking that rather than writing, more laws and adding more restrictions, let's start by making sure we're enforcing the laws that we have. We're shoring up what's already on the books, and we're making sure that we don't take away what would help keep people safer as a knee-jerk reaction to try to stop a handful of violent situations that wouldn't have affected the parade itself in the first place. I appreciate y'all's time. Have a great night.
All right, thank you. And last, we have Ms. Angela White speaking on items 19 and 20.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Angela White with Fisher Brown Bottrell Insurance, a division of Marsh McLennan Agency. And I wanted to personally introduce myself to you guys. I know we have a new mayor and some new council members, and I wanted to let you know that we currently handle the medical, reinsurance, dental, and life insurance for the city. We recently met with some of the HR team and some of the legal team back on September 17th and reviewed our renewal options to include United Healthcare, Delta Dental, Pennsylvania Manufacturers, and MetLife. In addition, we provided some competitive options at that time with Cigna, BCS for the reinsurance, and then Equitable for the dental, and also Reliance for the life insurance. And I'm here today, and we also presented our agreement. We had an agreement in place previously that we had been told had not renewed or had expired, and so we presented a renewal agreement at that time as well. And I did notice on the agenda that it was brought up for approval for Delta Dental to renew with them and also for MetLife to renew with them. And what we presented was an option with Equitable that was about an 8% increase in comparison to the 13% with Delta Dental. And that would actually be roughly $100,000 savings comparison to the renewal and a 2-year rate guarantee. The Reliance option that we presented was actually under the current renewal and is about $12,000 annually and a 2-year rate guarantee. That's it.
Thank you. All right, colleagues, that brings to a close public comment. Now it's time to get to work. Consent agenda.
All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Colleagues, as always, if you're going to discuss an item on the consent agenda, we will need to, someone needs to request to remove something from it to discuss it. Councilman Parkinson.
Mr. President, I would like to make an amendment to the consent agenda.
Okay.
My amendment is for the approval of the Tuesday, October 21st, 2025 regular City Council meeting minutes.
So the motion is to amend the consent agenda to add minutes from what date?
October 21st.
October 21st. All right.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this amendment?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Why was it not on the agenda?
Clerk.
Shanikia Jordan, Clerk of Council. We inadvertently left that off the agenda.
Will we be, with this amendment, will our records be up to date?
Correct, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments about the amendment? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's 6.
Yep, Thomas, vote.
Yes, she did. She voted with her hand. All right, so now we have the item on the floor as amended. Any questions or comments about consent agenda? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Thomas? All right, there we go. That's 6-0. Thank you. All right, colleagues, we're going to move now to introduction of ordinances. Item 11.
Ordinance of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, modifying Chapter 26, Article 12, Rental Registration Program.
All right, colleagues, this is just an introduction. Mr. Taylorson or Mayor Horn, would you like to speak on this? Or someone from legal?
I'm going to defer to legal on this.
Yes, sir.
Drew Martin, City Attorney. We talked a little bit yesterday about this. If you recall the history of this, the city passed a rental registration ordinance a couple of years ago, roughly, which was challenged. A couple of different lawsuits challenged that ordinance in local court. Courts were split on some of the decisions. In any event, we went back to the drawing board to work on what revisions could be made. We worked very closely with the Mississippi Apartment Association in particular because Councilman Stokes and Councilman Lindsay at the time both strongly recommended that. They've been a great help, and we're looking forward to them helping us with future amendments and adjustments to some of the processes. But essentially what this ordinance would do would give the department the opportunity to register all rental properties in the city, to keep a running registry of every one of those, to provide for inspections of each of those. There's some sampling that's permitted for larger complexes to the extent that places are passing. The department has the option then to say, well, this department's well run, we'll move on to some other ones. Same time, if the sampling reveals problems, it gives them flexibility to do more inspections of those. There are fines and penalties that are baked into this. Those are the high points. Those are the high points. The department is ready to have this. I guess one of the most important points to remember is because of the litigation the city has not been able to collect any of the registration fees for at least a year. And so it is important for the city and for the program to get back to that process. And the department can speak to that a little bit more as well. And I will add that I know the attorney for the Mississippi Department Association is here today. If somebody has specific questions for them, and I think they are preparing a statement of support for this ordinance as well before the council votes on it in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, item 12. This is also an introduction. Clerk.
Ordinance of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, amending Article 3, Officers and Employees, Division 1, by creating Section 173 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Jackson, Mississippi, to establish prohibition against relationships or dealings between city officials, employees, and individuals engaged in illegal drug activity, dope dealers.
Mr. Stokes, this is your item.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we witnessed a situation that's alarming in Mississippi Delta, where the federal government arrested sheriffs in the Delta and law enforcement officers throughout the state of Mississippi and the Delta region. City of Jackson must take the leadership role and let these citizens know we are not in bed with dope boys.
That's right.
We got to send the message that this city will not tolerate employees, agencies, or anybody else doing business with this city getting in bed with dope dealers. That's a bad thing, and we're gonna let people know it's a bad thing. And we're doing it through law. If the FBI come in here, we're gonna have a law in the book that's saying the city of Jackson does not support working relationships between our employees and drug dealers. We understand these drug dealers are destroying the character of this city. We understand that they go out their way to destroy the lives of mothers and fathers and children. And we're gonna stand up against them. This ordinance is something we hope that other municipalities throughout this state will follow. And let's get it truly understood that the city will not hug, get in bed, or support dope dealers. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stokes. Again, these two were introductions and they're rollover and will be on the next council agenda. All right, next we're going to move to adoption of ordinances. Item 13, clerk.
Ordinance of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi to modify Chapter 14 of the City of Jackson Code of Ordinances to create Chapter 14, Article 5, parades.
So moved.
Second. All right, it's been moved and properly second. Mr. Parkinson, I believe you wrote this. If you speak briefly to this, please, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we have a rich tradition in Jackson of a lot of really great special events and a lot of fantastic parades. They happen downtown, they happen throughout the entire city, and they're wonderful, important cultural events for everybody involved. At the same time, we want to make sure that they are well regulated, and as parades grow in size and as they change and adjust, we can make sure that they continue to be safe and fun for everybody in attendance. And so what the ordinance you'll see in front of you, and we've been discussing for a few weeks, does is it does two things. It amends our parade ordinance in two ways. One is throughout the entirety of the city, it outlaws weapons, having guns at parades, at the actual parade events for parade participants. There's already some good common sense exceptions here, obviously for our police officers and others. There's those carve outs, but folks bringing weapons to parades, this seeks to address that. And the other thing it does is it has a series of other things that are targeted specifically in the downtown corridor, recognizing that parades that happen in our downtown, just given the nature of downtown that may not apply elsewhere, are addressed there. And so that includes things like having glass bottles during a parade event, having grills, open flames, cooking materials and items like that that will really make sure that folks can continue to enjoy the wonderful, wonderful parades that we have, and make sure that they're fun and safe and really enjoyable. We've been talking about this with a variety of community members. I've heard a lot of support for things like this. This mirrors what a lot of other cities do that have a lot of parades. Cities like New Orleans that are notorious for having wonderful, fun, amazing parades. This matches a lot of what they do. I have had I have had some questions and concerns, including, as Mr. Service says, a wonderful, very respectful conversation between two people who might see it a little differently. He pushed my thinking in really, I think, beneficial and insightful ways. After we had the opportunity to speak, I've had the opportunity to connect with the attorney's office. And I do believe there is a point to be made about for people who have the concealed carry, who have gone through an extensive amount of training, who have had the permit, who can be proven to be responsible gun owners. It's reasonable to me that a carve out could be, potentially made for that. So I support the measure on its whole. And in addition to that, Mr. President, I do wish to offer an amendment. I've asked Mr. Martin if he wouldn't mind reading it on my behalf, just to make sure the language is above board and what we need to do, but we've talked and it matches the spirit of what we've talked already.
Mr. Parkinson, before he does it, is it already in what you provided us today?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, the ordinance as provided to council this evening has the amendments in it. There's really just two amendments, although one is a little bit longer, but I'm going to read them both in. So the first amendment is to what was already the third whereas provision of the ordinance, which discussed some of the firearm issues. It's been amended to say the following. Whereas it is in the best interest of the public to prohibit firearms at parades in the city where permitted by law, while also protecting state and federal constitutional rights to bear arms. And whereas it is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation to restrict carrying firearms in areas of public assembly where necessary for public safety. And whereas Mississippi Code Section 45-9-53 grants a municipality the authority to regulate the carrying of a firearm, either openly or concealed, at a parade. And whereas the Attorney General for the state of Mississippi has opined that the authority to regulate firearms at a parade must not infringe on the rights of enhanced concealed license holders. And whereas the Attorney General has further opined that a municipality has the authority to enact an ordinance which regulates firearms at a parade with regard to open carrying of a firearm, concealed carry with a regular concealed license, or firearms carried without a license, so long as the ordinance does not regulate the right to concealed carry with an enhanced license. So obviously what that whereas provision does is it summarizes Mississippi law and Attorney General opinions on this issue and provides the legal authority for the city to enact the ordinance. If you skip then down to what was already section 14-206, which is the firearm provision, this is much shorter, and it's been amended to say the following. The carrying of firearms by any parade participant or attendee is prohibited unless expressly permitted by law. Parade participants and attendees are prohibited from open carrying a firearm, concealed carry with a regular concealed license, and from carrying firearms without a license. This prohibition does not apply to enhanced concealed license holders due to the protections afforded by Mississippi Code sections 45-9-101 parentheses 13 and 97-37-7 parentheses 2 as amended from time to time. And those are the only amendments.
All right, Mr. Parkinson has offered an amendment. Is there a second for that?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second to amend as stated by the city attorney. Any questions or comments about the amendment?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Legal, in reading this ordinance, are we saying this is gonna apply to all parades or just St. Patty?
As written, this will apply to parades held in the downtown Jackson Business District.
Mr. Martin,
I want to.
The gun ordinance applies to the entire city.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And this,
I'm thinking of the older version, I suppose. Go ahead, Mr. Parkinson.
say. It's the firearms prohibition applies to the parades held throughout the entire city. The additional measures that are listed under 14.205 specifically apply to the boundaries of the downtown business improvement district.
That's correct.
Okay, I want to offer an exception to the rule.
I'm sorry.
Got a motion to offer an exception to the rule.
Second.
All right,
Rules of order, do we handle the First Amendment first?
No, we need to finish.
well, we, hold on one second. Clerk, do we need to dispose of the first?
You would withdraw your motion to amend if you want to have discussions over both amendments, and then raise the appropriate motion to amend based on the comments.
I withdraw my second.
I withdraw my.
Okay, Councilman Stokes.
Thank you. Number one, I want to state that I truly support the idea of no guns at parades. I've done the Dr. King parade for decades, and you know, guns have no place at a parade, period. My concern and deception would be in terms of grills and glass containers. And I go to New Orleans and recruit bands, and I understand what glass containers mean and grills. But some people take the position that you're trying to exclude them. We need to make sure parades are for all citizens throughout this city who want to participate. I think, and I was at the last parade where that was shooting and everything else. My concern is that we need to at least have an exception, whereas the chief of police and the mayor's office can give permission for a person or persons to have an opportunity to have a grill and glass containers without being arrested at a parade.
Yes, sir. Mr. Stokes, the ordinance that's been presented does allow for exceptions. And so when individuals who are hosting a parade request a permit to host a parade, they are able to specifically request exemptions. If, for example, they wanted to have a barbecue festival parade or barbecue parade or something of the sort where they wanted to allow for that, there is a carve out for those.
I agree, but in law, you always need to spell out who they can go to. They can go to the chief of police and or the mayor or someone that the mayor designate to make sure that they get a fair opportunity to be heard. And I don't think that's too much. You know, in the past, when you have exceptions, the chief normally hear what they're saying. And it's not going to be any crackhead or somebody who have wrongdoing on their mind who will come and explain what they're trying to do with a grill and a glass container. We must have some exceptions to the rules. Thank you.
Mr. Hartley.
Yes, listening to the conversation here, I think of some of my folks over in my ward. A lot of these folks are packing. That's just what we do, okay? And, you know, you have, as Councilman Stokes said, dope boys and other folks, they're gonna be caring and they don't care a thing about the law. And all I'm saying is I understand the need, but I believe we will be exercising some of these exceptions. And so I will endorse this, but we have to understand it's a different size for every feet. Okay, it may be great downtown, but to some folks that are in the habit of always, you may even leave the house and not know it. This old lady may leave the house and not know the gun is in her pocket. It happens, but it's that assurance. And so I look forward to, you know, being able to exercise that right for exceptions, being able to work with the police department and others to ensure safe events. And I will support it to that end. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments about Mr. Stokes's motion for an exception? All right. Hearing none, all in favor? Wait, hold on. Mr. Hartley, second, I believe.
Yes.
So are we considering all the amendment? What are the amendments?
Right now, neither is, there would need to be some specific language. I think I understand what Councilman Stokes is asking for. Right now, the exceptions presumably would go to the Special Events Committee just because that's where they normally would go to. Procedurally, Councilman Parkinson withdrew his motion to amend to hear what Councilman Stokes' amendment was. I think it's up to the body to decide what order they want to hear the amendments.
I can
or
put
if
it
they're doing
together.
both.
If it will please the council, I can put it together. And I'll say, I offer an amendment. The amendments are to reflect the language that Mr. Martin reflected earlier and to specifically allow the mayor to offer exemptions.
The mayor
as
and the police chief.
Mayor and the police chief.
And or.
I'm sorry.
And or the police.
And or. So my motions will be the items as read by Mr. Martin and to allow for the mayor and or police chief to make exemptions as applicable.
Is that
That's the motion.
That can be done. Yes, sir. That can be done. Or their designees, I would say. I would add that language. The mayor and or the police chief and or the designee of either.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is my amendment.
Sir.
Yes, sir. I do want to say this, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
What we don't want to do is take something that's good and make it something bad, where the citizens believe that we're trying to exclude certain segments, Black people in this city from downtown. And by giving the mayor and the chief an opportunity when someone feel that they need to be able to come in downtown Jackson and not be arrested for violating this ordinance, then that make them feel a little more comfortable. Some of us are old enough to remember the times in downtown Jackson, Black people just couldn't come. And we don't want to turn back that clock. So by giving the mayor, chief of police the authority for whether it's an organization or people to talk to them and say, Mr. Mayor, this is what we want. And he said, fine, and sign off, for the chief and sign off. Then you eliminate that fear that people are gonna say about us passing this tonight. We're beginning to exclude Black people from coming back downtown. Many times they have asked me to bring Martin Luther King Parade into downtown Jackson. And we said we're gonna stay in the neighborhoods. For those who want to come into downtown Jackson, there should be an open door. Come in, leave the violence out, but come in and enjoy yourself. Because most times it's children. Children here having fun at a parade, and you don't want to take the joy from children. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now we have the item as amended on the floor.
We have to vote on the amendment.
We got to vote on the amendment. All right, all in favor of the amendment? Mr. Foote? All right, that's 6. All right, so now we have the item as amended on the floor. Any questions or comments about the item as amended? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. 6-0. All right. Number 13. Item 14.
Ordinance of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, honorary renaming Dalton Street from Dr. Robert Smith Parkway to Central Street to Hezekiah Walkins Drive.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, it's just housekeeping. We had approved this item for Mr. Watkins some years ago. And somewhere down the line, the ball was dropped and we speak through our minutes and they could not find where it had been voted on. Hezekiah Watkins has been named so many different things in this community, this state, this country. As a civil rights leader, I think he works at the museums currently. He has stood up for all people. And at one time in this city, he had a little grocery store near Jackson State. And that's where we're trying to name the street in that area in his honor, simply because we did not want his hard work to be ignored. And I thank Randy Wildman Brown and Ms. Wild for bringing it to my attention. And I kept telling them, we have voted on this and it's been done. And someone checked and they just want to make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. I think he went to Parchman as a young man protesting against injustice. We didn't call him to come tonight. I know maybe we should have, because it's been done once. And we do not want him to think that we're playing games with him and his hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hartley.
Yes, and Ward 5, which the street is located, we do support this renaming. We have a lot of respect, again, from a business standpoint and a resident of the Deer Park area. We have a lot of respect for Mr. Hezekiah Ward, excuse me, we call him Mr. Het. At the age of 13 years old, he went to Parchman for protesting during the civil rights era. That's the caliber of the person we're dealing with. And now he gives lectures at the civil rights museums. So we are all in favor of this from a Ward 5 perspective. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Parkinson.
I'll just add quickly, when I had the opportunity to serve as the principal of Midtown Public Charter School, he very graciously came to speak to the young students at that school and was very gracious with his time and sharing his vulnerable story. And it really, really inspired the students there. And so I'm happy to support this measure.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments about this item? Mr. Foote?
Thank you, Mr. President. Same thing. I had experience several times with Mr. Watkins, where I had visiting West Point cadets that were at the museum, and he told them his story about being sent off to death row at Parchman, and was there and was rescued by, I think it was President Kennedy, who called up the governor Barnett at the time and told him to release him. Or it was either JFK or RFK that did this. It's a great story, and he's a great American, a great Mississippian.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments about item 14? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. That's 6-0. Item 15.
An ordinance enlarging, extending, and defining the corporate limits and boundaries of the city of Jackson, Mississippi, specifying the improvements to be made in the annexed territory and the municipal or public services to be rendered therein and for other purposes related thereto.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item? All right, hearing none, all in favor? That's 5 opposed. All right, 5-1. Thank you. Claims.
Order approving claims appearing at pages 67 to inclusive thereon on municipal docket of claims in the amount of $2,334,034.24 for and making appropriation for the payment thereof.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Colleagues, I know it's late, but I need your participation now to go get out of here. All right, CFO, Ms. Caldwell, could you please go over large claims?
Good evening. Jillian Caldwell, CFO. The 4 largest claims are as follows. Entergy, Planning and Development, $360,033.20 for the payment of the streetlights from Fund 1 General Fund. The second largest claim is to U.S. Bancorp. The amount is $201,754.86 for the lease payment for December 2025 from the Fund 1 General Fund. The third largest claim is to Waste Management of Mississippi, Inc., $172,166.11 for the City of Jackson Residential from Fund 9 Sanitation Landfill. The fourth largest claim is to Grace House, Inc., $138,025.64 for the payment of HOPWA services provided from June through November 2025 from Fund 122, HOPWA.
All right, thank you. Colleagues, any questions or comments about claims? Mr. Foote.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to support the claims document here, but I still have a serious issue with the situation with Entergy where we pay them on a monthly basis for all these streetlights and stuff. And it's not clear to me where the accountability is and where the full accounting for how they come up with the amount that we get billed. And I have yet to see the contract on how they've determined how much they bill us for. And if it's, I want to see if we can get that contract and run it by the Public Service Commission and see if it's in line with all the rules that are set up by the state to oversee the public utilities. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President?
Mr. Stokes?
I concur with the councilman from Ward 1. I know in my ward, it's routinely we have lights out, lights out, lights out. And they tell us you got to call this number. How you tell a 60, 70, 80-year-old person to go look on a pole and call and all of that when that's Energy's job? And then the next issue got to be, do we get discounts for all these lights that's out in this city? And if so, how much? Because there's too many lights out in Jackson, it's too dark. You know, Energy must do more to make the city safer. Lights will make it safer. At the last meeting I asked in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they did a study and they have their own lights, whether or not the state and others can help the city have its own lights. But my question, and that's important what Councilman Foote has stated, my question is, Habitat presented me a bill that we owe them that go back to 2022. Could I get that to you, and maybe at another time you can give me a memo or something? What I'm concerned about, I want to make sure, Mr. Mayor, I know this is not, none of this occurred during your time, Mr. Mayor, but I want to make sure we're current in paying our bills. And if we have other debt, that we can let people know why we haven't paid them and when they can look forward to being paid. Over the years, the reputation of your city, as you go through hard times, you could call a company and say the city of Jackson requests you to do this, and they will come and do it. It's just after we stop paying bills timely that people start saying we want our money first. And I think we have the city in a position where we can start back calling people to come help this city with work, and they'll know they're gonna get paid in a timely manner. That's the only way this city gonna survive, because you don't always have tax money sitting in the bank when you have an emergency. And we got to let these business people know, if the city of Jackson owe you, we're gonna pay you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hartley.
Yes, in reference, I'm sorry, go ahead, sir. You may want to come in on his comment.
Somebody go.
Well, Mr. President, I'll
Yes,
just
sir,
say
Mr.
to Councilman Stokes' comments. The policy of this administration is that if we have a bill, we pay it promptly. And I don't know about what went on in 2022, but as far as the policy of this administration, we are in the business of paying our bills as promptly as we possibly can. As it relates to the Entergy issue, we have met with Entergy. We met with the president of Entergy Mississippi to express some concerns about how we're billed, what the inventory looks like, the number of lights that are out. The city owns some lights and some poles even. And we're trying to get a delineation and an inventory of what is owned by the city and what's owned by Entergy. Right now, we couldn't tell you that if our lives depended on it. So Entergy is getting us that inventory, and we'll be able to tell from there what's ours and what's theirs. None of the poles are metered. They charge us a flat fee every month, regardless of whether the lights are on or not. And we want to get an adjustment on that, and we're having further discussions with them about that. All right, Mr. Harlan?
Yes, I was just going to say that this coming Monday, we have a Public Works Committee meeting. I'd like to, if our Clerk of Council would add that Entergy to the agenda for that. As recently, I believe it's last week, I was notified by a fellow council member that she noticed approximately 10 lights out over there on, I think she said on Highway 80. I'm not sure, but I would encourage them to come to the table, discuss things with us, and work with us as we move and growing and rising the city. As we become a success story, I want them to be a part of the team. And so we don't want to be adversarial, but we need Entergy, and we need for them to be on point as we move the city forward.
All right,
Mr. President.
Mr. Taywilson.
Can I speak briefly? Peter Taywilson, CAO. Councilman Stokes, that invoice you gave us, those involve 2022 grant funds, but the invoice itself is not from 2022. They also involve federal funds, and Habitat has not provided all the documentation necessary for us to pay that bill. And under my watch, we are not going to spend federal funds. I don't care if you're Habitat, local friends with council members, or whomever. If you can't document what the federal government says we have to document, we're not going to turn over any federal money. We've met on that. We are working through it. And I would remind this council, we've come in and paid a number of bills going back as far as 2014 since you have been here and since this administration has been here. We take our responsibilities on paying the bills seriously. State law gives us 45 days. We're very much aware of that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments?
One question.
Yes, sir.
Are we saying we do not own them? Because I tell them, I said, we don't owe y'all a dime.
I'm not saying we do or don't owe them. I'm saying we don't have the proper documentation by which we could release any funds, and we are working with them to get the proper documentation. Assuming we get that documentation, we will recommend paying Habitat.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments about claims? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0, thank you. Payroll?
Order approving gross payroll, including payroll deduction claims number 33073 to and making appropriation for the payment thereof.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about payroll? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0, thank you. Item 18.
Order confirming Mayor John Horn temporary appointment of Tyree Jones as Chief of Police of the City of Jackson, Mississippi.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and properly second. Chief, you want to come up, please? Mayor, introduce, please.
Well, this is probably one of the easiest introductions I could make. Of course, Chief Tyree Jones has been serving as the interim police chief for the limitations of the 90 days that he can be in that position without either having to vacate the position or to be fully confirmed. He is the sheriff, of course, of this fine county and has been serving admirably and has a number of decades of service to our public safety environment here in Hinds County and the city of Jackson. And so it gives me great pleasure to nominate Chief Sheriff Jones for the permanent position of Chief of Police. at least temporarily. He has said that he doesn't want the job full-time, but in terms of dealing with the 90-day limitation, this is the best path that we know to go forward. So I would commend him up to the consideration of the council.
All right, thank you. Chief?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Interim Chief Tyree Jones. First of all, giving honor to God for this opportunity to be here before you all this evening. Thank you, Mayor Horn, for this opportunity. Thank you for your leadership here in the city of Jackson. Council President, Vice President, other members of the esteemed City Council, thank you all for allowing me to stand before you this evening. And also, I have joining me here, I have my wife here in the audience, and I have my 16-year-old daughter, Morgan, and my 9-year-old daughter, Addison.
All right.
My 22-year-old son cannot be with us this evening. He is a student at Alcorn State University.
Go ahead, kid.
But I am very humbled by this opportunity, first of all, to be in the position where I can serve as the interim chief, and now up for consideration as the chief of police here in the city of Jackson. Jackson is my home. Jackson is where I was born. Jackson is where I was raised, and it's where I reside. Me and my family go to church in Jackson. My kids are educated in Jackson. And at the age of 47, I have dedicated 26 years of public safety and law enforcement services to this city and to this county. I love Jackson, and I love to see the growth of Jackson. But I would be remiss if I wouldn't recognize the men and women of both the Hinds County Sheriff's Office and the Jackson Police Department that have joined us here this evening. People ask me, how are you able to do it? What are you doing? Well, it's not about what I do. It's about what these men and women do on a day-to-day basis to fluidly operate the Jackson Police Department as well as the Hinds County Sheriff's Office. And not only that, we must never forget the men and women that are out on the front lines on a day-to-day basis serving this community. Thank you, Mayor Horn, for your dedication and your commitment to public safety. And thank you to the City Council for your commitment and dedication to public safety. As you all know, public safety is a major tool when it comes to any type of government and any type of community activities. We must have efficient public safety. And I'm very proud to be here before you all this evening with the opportunity to be able to continue to serve as the chief of police during this transitional phase. I will commit to the Jackson Police Department integrity, professionalism, and day-to-day operations serving the great citizens here in the city of Jackson. And I will end by saying, in the words of my great friend, the late Lee Vance, amen, the only reward for hard work is more hard work.
That's right.
All right, thank you, Interim Chief. We're gonna start with the questions. Ward 1, Councilman Foote, you have anything?
I have no questions. I'm glad he's willing to, that Sheriff Tyree Jones is willing to take on this for another leg.
All right, thank you, Councilman Stokes.
Thank you. Chief, you know I'm proud of you. When you talk about Lee Vance, great man. We're still trying to get his name on at the police department. The sign should have been up. He told me more money, more officers. That's all he said. Homeboy, more money, more officers. I said, I understand. Chief, we need the DART team back. Chief Wilson called it Direct Action Response Team. There's some bad boys in some parts of this city. I'm not saying we need a goon squad, because we don't. But I believe that under your leadership and this mayor's leadership, we can get some of these great officers, because they great. I saw a situation a week or so ago, a mental situation. They are trained. Chief, they trained. I mean, they come out, they know what to do, how to do it. We got some great officers. We got some great deputies. I know that you and this mayor can get us where we need to be and stop some of these bad boys. Ena Sanders told me when they shot the man on Tougaloo, they shot almost 40-some times, 40-some rounds. It's some bad boys in here. And I got an item on the agenda coming up later, but we're gonna start having them get some identification. Too many people in this city, you ask for ID, they don't have any, and that's intentional. I don't really have any question because I know you can do the job, but we need a direct action response team citywide, especially in these bad neighborhoods. And we got some folks, I've seen them, this police department, who can handle the job respectfully, but at the same time, they're gonna get the point across. Thank you so much, Chief. I support you 100%.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ward 5.
Yes, Chief, we certainly appreciate your volunteering for this.
No pay.
No pay?
Oh, good. Chief White said that ain't gonna work.
We certainly appreciate you volunteering for this assignment. This is awesome, it's necessary, and it's a top priority. Years ago, I won't say how many years ago, but I used to go to sleep every night with a gun under my pillow. Okay, at drive-bys from the street across. That's not happening anymore. I used to wake up with gunshots in the background, go to sleep with gunshots in the background. That's not happening anymore. But like you said, and you quoting the chief, we have more hard work to do. We cannot slow down. We cannot back down. We cannot pause. Right now, we're having businesses that are affected. Some of them are opting to leave. We can't allow that. You know, we have to have the services and goods for our people. And I pledge my full support of you and the mayor in getting this continue to improve the city of Jackson. And I look forward to your service, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 6.
Okay, thank you. Okay, as everybody know, I have worked with Tyree, Chief Jones, correction, for several years, about 20 plus years. And I will say that I enjoy working with him and he have my support.
All right.
But I do need some attention down in South Jackson.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Ward 7.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all that you've been doing to step up and to continue to step up. I've appreciated the collaboration and the opportunity to pay attention to the issues that are important to Jackson. So thank you so much. I think my only question, Mr. Mayor, are we still on the original timeline that PERF presented, which I believe was interviews in December and ideally a final candidate in January? Is that still the proposed
That is
timeline?
our intention.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Well, you have my support, and I thank you again for helping us bridge the gap. And I still want to know if you prefer Chief Sheriff or Sheriff Chief, but we could do that later.
There you go.
If he's wearing black, he chief. If he's wearing brown, he's sheriff.
Hang around.
That's it. We will color code him, all right? Colleagues, do we need another round?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Griselle?
Yes.
One final comment on the subject of hard work and hard work and hard work. Will you keep doing that hard work long enough, Sheriff? We might name a street after you.
Hey, you know who might do it. All right, thank you. Chief, I don't have anything other than, part of the council's duty. Our primary duty is to make sure we manage this budget. Watch your expenses and watch your overtime, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, however long you're here, all right? All right, colleagues, there anything else? All right, all in favor? 6-0, thank you. Congratulations, Chief.
Congratulations, Chief.
Now, I know you introduced your family. Hey, Munya. You got some old folk here in Brown. I know they came to see
Hang
you.
around.
One of them, my classmate, and two of them, I think I went to APAC with you. You want to introduce him, Chief? Whoever's in Brown. You got some guests here. Whoever else you got?
Part of the command staff.
All right.
Sergeant Mike Rhodes, Captain Keith Burnett, Lieutenant Sims, Chief Deputy LaTasha Holmes, Lieutenant Blackman, and Lieutenant Henderson.
All right. Thank you so much and welcome. Welcome to the chamber.
Captain Hollis is in the back.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much. And my favorite captain is sitting there too, Precinct 3. All right. Thank you so much, Chief. Congratulations. You can get to work now.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I do want to take a second to say we thank the chief for all he has done. I want to say to Chief Wade, we miss him greatly.
Hold on, Councilman Stokes. Excuse me, please. If you don't mind, please leaving as orderly as you came in. Go ahead, Mr. Stokes.
Just want to say that Chief Wade, we miss him. And he did a wonderful job when he told us he was going to reduce murders in this city by half. We all wondered, had he been drinking a beer or two? And he did. And we just appreciate him for his hard work and the staff. You know, the police department, even though we still have some other cities trying to pay as much as our police department, they work extremely hard. And we want to thank them for their hard work. We want to thank the mayor for giving us a roadmap, you know, because it could have been a lot of controversy and everything else when Chief Wade left. But we hit the ground running, and we sending the message to these criminals not here in Jackson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. Colleagues, in light of the information we received via email and also during public comment tonight, and also in discussion about our flat finances, I'm kind of feeling like we've missed the opportunity to save the city some money with insurance. And having said that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and put 19 and 20 in Finance Committee. Finance Committee will meet Monday, the 24th, and we can hash it out then. We're going to talk about the budget and also these insurance items. Thank you, because we really want to make sure that we get the best savings possible. Item 21, clerk.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the Jackson Police Department and Essential Touch Tones LLC to provide psychological evaluation services.
So
a second. It's been moved and properly second. We had a little conversation, discussion about this yesterday during work session. Is there any more questions or comments about this item? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0, thank you. 22.
Order ratifying payment to TK Elevator Corporation invoice number 500-299-7133 for elevator repair services performed at the Jackson Police Department headquarters.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 22? Mr. Hartley?
Yeah, in all candor, do JPD need that extra exercise going up and down the stairs? No, I look forward to supporting this.
I think they can use some now, you know.
Look forward to supporting this.
All right. Any more questions or comments about item 22? Mr. Foote.
President, one question. Does the funding for this come out of JPD's budget or does it come out of our maintenance funds?
Good evening, Michael Allen, Jackson Police Department. The payment for this item is coming out of the Jackson Police Department's budget.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Brown Thomas, you had your hand up.
Yeah, she voted.
No.
Okay. Any more questions or comments about item 22? All in favor? All right, 6-0, thank you. Item 23.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the second amendment to antenna site license agreement with T-Mobile South LLC to extend the current agreement terms for Tower Site Number 5 at 2437 McFadden Road.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item?
One question.
Yes, sir.
How many years, Dr. Slater, these contracts, how many years do we give?
Turn it on. Press the button.
Nathan Slater, Director of Technology. The contract that we're discussing now, that contract, it began in July 16, 2018. And it currently runs through 2033. This amendment will add five additional year renewal terms beginning June 1st, 2033, with no change in the rent, other than the annual escalation, which we receive every year. We get a 3.5% escalation on each of these towers.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions or comments about item 23? Hearing none, all in favor? Okay. All right, 6-0. Thank you. 24.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the Second Amendment to Antenna Site License Agreement with T-Mobile South LLC to extend the current agreement terms for Tower Site Number 11 at 1242 Wiggins Road.
So moved.
Second.
As been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 24? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. 6-0. 25.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the Fifth Amendment to the commencement agreement with T-Mobile South LLC, the successor in interest to PowerTel Memphis, Inc., for the purpose of extending the term and installing additional antennas, associated cables, and site equipment to Tower Site Number 15 located at 3145 Forest Hill Road.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments to item 25? Hearing none, all in favor? 6-0, thank you. 26.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute the Fifth Amendment to Antenna Site License Agreement with T-Mobile South LLC to extend the current agreement terms for Tower Site Number 22 at 3,500 St. Charles Street.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments to item 26? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0, thank you. 27.
Order authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 4 to the contract of Fountain Construction Company, Inc. for the planetarium renovation project to extend the project time by 80 days due to supplier delays.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 27? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. 28.
Order authorizing amendment number 3 to the contract with CDFL Architects Plus Engineers PA, CDFL, for the architecture and engineering services for continued renovations at Tharp Memorial Hall.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 28? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0. 29.
Order declaring municipally owned parcels 175-272, 175-277, 175-278, and 175-208 surplus property and authorizing the sale of same to Francis C. Smith.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 29? All right, hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. 6-0. Item 30.
Order reviewing and continue August 29, 2022 state of emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions about item 30? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. Item 31.
Order reviewing and continuing state of emergency.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about item 31? All in favor? All right, thank you. Item 32.
Order of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, enforcing the posting of the street address on all buildings, apartments, and houses in the city of Jackson, Mississippi.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Mr. Stokes?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have a young man with the fire department. He's well, we currently have a law, let me say that. And what we're doing is asking that it be enforced. Certain neighborhoods, certain houses, they remove the addresses. He's gonna tell us about apartments and businesses. Yes, sir.
Elliot Holmes, Deputy Fire Chief, Fire Department. This city ordinance basically is once we adopt the IFC 2024, that actually falls up under city ordinance, and the Fire Marshal's Division is the one that's responsible for upholding that part when it comes to addresses on apartment buildings and commercial buildings. Basically, we go out and do inspections annually. So if there's any discrepancies where there's no visible address, then we either give them an opportunity in a couple of weeks to rectify that. And if not, then we issue citations for them to do that. So that part of it, the fire department inspects when it comes to apartment buildings and apartments.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Davidson, now we have a ordinance on the book, and it's not being enforced. I'm talking about separate, I'm talking for houses and residents. With y'all leadership, could we look at either some of the planning department, police department, somebody to make sure we still have legitimate addresses, especially in some of the poor neighborhoods. They move them off the house, take them down intentionally. Now I know one of the supervisors has started putting signs in yards that might not last, but maybe we can get her to start getting them, put them on the house. But we deserve to have addresses on homes throughout this city for emergency services, whether police, fire, ambulance trying to find a house, and then to protect the public as a whole, because some people don't want the address on the house because they're doing wrong. Thank y'all so much.
Mr. Hartley?
Yes. Is there any particular grants or anything out there that would help us provide some type of a standardized address labeling? Do you know of anything? Or could you research it, put it that way?
When it pertains to the commercial property, the apartments, residential
properties.
I can answer that. I have no idea.
If we could just research that, just to make sure if there's maybe something from a safety standpoint, if there's any type of grant funding, we might want to look at that.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Holmes, quick question. When I was growing up, probably about 40 years, I'm not even sure who did it, but they used to go around and paint the curbs, the addresses on the curbs. And of course that prevented, folk not having an address on or near their house. But even in more modern, because I know some folks don't have a curb in front of their house, is there a way the fire department can buy the reflective address stickers and just put it on the property? I'm just trying to find a happy medium here instead of just fighting people.
Okay, now we do not cite residential like regular homes. It's basically commercial buildings and apartment complexes.
Okay.
And like I said, those are basically in place for, like Councilman Stokes said, emergency reasons. The same thing when it comes to homes. We like to know where we're going and be able to recognize the address that we're going to. But so we're not issuing citations to regular homeowners. Maybe that's something that a homeowner association might can come up with. And just like you said, I remember those days when it was painted on the curb.
All right, I appreciate the clarity. Mr. Hartley?
Yes, just to follow up, is it possible to research and maybe some approaches? A lot of the community does have curbsides. And if we could have some guidelines or outline for them to do a program, perhaps using volunteers, perhaps using Boy Scouts and other groups or church groups or whatever, to provide that stenciling. Again, from a safety standpoint, if we were a little bit more consistent, it might provide a little bit of it would provide more safety to our residents. when police are responding, I've seen police on my street go up and down the street 5 times looking for an address.
I agree.
Okay, and if it hadn't been emergency, there's a problem. So if you guys could help research that and then get with the neighborhood associations.
We can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Ms. Stokes?
Mr. President, we passed the law September 17, 2019. So the law is passed. It's just we need enforcement. And the suggestions you're making where the city might can help those residents who might need help getting the address on the home versus those where they intentionally taking the addresses off. But we need to have addresses up on homes.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments by item 32? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you. Item 33.
Resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, wishing everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving holiday.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly second. Mr. Stokes?
Mr. President, we just thankful. So many things to be thankful for, and you know, Thanksgiving is a beautiful time. You know, family come together, get together, friends, and everybody else. You can say what you want to about any activities you've seen in the city of Jackson, but Jackson, in most cases, pretty safe than most growing cities. And what we want to do is make sure everyone have a safe, enjoyable Thanksgiving. Eat some good food, relax with family members and friends, and we'll leave the violence out.
Amen. Any more questions or comments by item 33? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, 6-0. Item 34.
Resolution of the City Council of Jackson, Mississippi, supporting a new football stadium for Jackson State University.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item?
Mr. President,
Ms. Stokes?
we, Mr. Mayor, we need your help with the new stadium issue. As a former member of the legislature, but as a citizen in this city who love this city, the council center is a reality. We talked about it before with people throughout this world trying to do what they can to preserve life. Most people go to Houston, Texas because they're known for their council services. Kings and queens go to Houston. And here in Jackson, Mississippi, we are trying to get started with a first-class council center. The issue has been Jackson State Stadium. People have raised a lot of money to make this a reality. Right now, my understanding is the plan is to build a council center where people tailgate for Jackson State now on that parking lot because they can't get the stadium. They want the stadium. That's why we need the city to get involved, because once they commit to building and those kind of things, you can't bag up then and say, we want to try to negotiate or talk. We need to talk to someone in charge, let it be known if Jackson State can build a stadium on campus, let's find the location. If they're going downtown, let's find the location. Whatever they're gonna do, let's get it done so we can get this council center moving. I think that this stadium, that location is better than that parking lot. We're talking about it will create jobs for the next 100 years that will make this city grow. The council center is a step in the right direction for the state of Mississippi, for the city of Jackson, and for Jackson State University.
All right, thank you. Any more questions or comments?
Mr. President, just a comment.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Stokes, you're right. The establishment of an NCI, a National Cancer Institute in Jackson, Mississippi, would be a real game changer, not only for our community, but also for the University of Mississippi Medical Center. Right now, they are in the middle of a capital campaign. They've raised, as of 3 weeks ago, $60 million towards a $250 million goal. They're hoping to have 100 million, as I understand it, by the end of this year, and are going to the legislature to request an equal match of whatever they raise. And then they plan to bond the rest of it. But my understanding is the location that they're considering as a first priority is what's called the Bowl, right across from the medical center, near where this residential facility is for cancer patients. It's the old Schimmels building. So they're looking to go in that valley that's right to the south of that old Schimmels building, and start the construction of that cancer center there to build it back towards the west. I will say though that I have quarterly meetings with the medical center and the vice chancellor and her senior staff. And at our last meeting, the vice chancellor indicated that the medical center is getting very, very close to wanting to take possession of the stadium, and also wanting to assist in Jackson State University getting a new stadium.
Amen. Mr. President?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, and I tell people, and I saw it happen when we lost Jenny Jungles and the effort and everything you did at that point to make sure that we had stores in the city. I believe that right now, I know Jackson State is trying to make some decisions, but they got to depend on expertise as to where the new stadium go. We don't want to lose everything based on people disagreeing on where the stadium need to be and down. It need to be, let's make a good, solid decision for a new stadium for Jackson State. But at the same time, let's make sure that the future of this city, this state, and this region, when people get sick, because you're going to get sick one day, that we have some kind of place that's first class where people don't have to go to Texas and Birmingham. They can stay right here in Jackson. Thank you, sir. I know you can handle it, and I know Peter and all y'all can talk to the people, say, look, it's time for us to make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions or comments about this item? Mr. Parkinson.
Thank you. I think this is a great item. Jackson State is long overdue for a new stadium, and I think it's a really important effort. And Mr. Stokes, I think you're bringing up some really great points about how the stadium can interact with, a potential cancer center or whatever it may be. And so I think regardless of whatever happens with this particular item, I would suggest that the Planning and Economic Development Committee meets and has this item as an agenda item.
Amen.
And I actually would recommend that we bring Jackson State into this conversation and hear their vision, hear their perspective, and also what resources they think they need, and begin planning and strategizing where we can get those resources. I think it's important for folks to understand this is a resolution that supports our commitment for a new stadium in Jackson State. It doesn't commit $265 million of our budget. It just says that this is a good, worthwhile endeavor. And for those reasons, I'm happy to support it. And I would suggest that the Planning and Economic Development Committee meets on this issue and hears directly from Jackson State as well.
All right. Who chairs that committee? Can't remember. The planning committee. Is it me? No. I think it's you.
No.
It's not you. It's Mr. Foote. All right, Mr. Foote, there's a request for you to have a meeting. We can talk about it later.
We can do that.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, so all in favor of this item? Thank you. Item 35.
Resolution of the City Council of.
We'll hold on, Mr. President.
Go hold it?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll hold item 35. Item 36.
Order appointing Emmett Johnson as Deputy Clerk of Council on a part-time basis.
So move.
Second. All right, it's been moved and properly second. I think Mr. Johnson is here. Mr. Johnson, if you would like to come to the podium, please. Councilwoman Brown Thomas, I believe this is your office. Would you mind introducing him for us? And
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman Gazelle. Okay, Emmett Johnson is a resident of Jackson in Ward 2. He is a graduate of Velma Jackson. He from Farmhaven, Mississippi, out of Canton, Mississippi. He went to Jackson State University, majored in political science. He retired from energy with 40 years, I think in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. He also is he have a foundation. If y'all ever go down Lakeland Drive by the Smith Wheel, Michael D. Johnson, his son was killed by a DUI driver right there at State and Amit. And they started this foundation for the Michael D. Johnson. And his son went to Merle. He got killed in 2005. And what the foundation is that they give scholarships to JPS students, and now they have extended throughout Mississippi to give a child a $1,500 scholarship. They have gave over $32,000 worth of scholarships to Merle, Provine, Jim Hill, to different schools in the area. So I want to introduce to some and present to other, Mr. Johnson.
thank you. Mr. Johnson, welcome to the chambers. If you could just, if there's anything you would like to say, turn on the mic, please.
Not really, but I'll just say my name is Emmett Johnson. I worked in the city of Jackson probably 35 years, so I'm familiar with Ward 1 through 7. So I'm excited to get started, see what I can do to help out Councilwoman Brown and also all of y'all wards and also the mayor. So I noticed y'all was talking about a light issue with energy, and maybe I might be able to be of some help with that.
All right, good deal. Colleagues, we're going to take it one round at a time. Ward 1, you have any questions or comments for Mr. Johnson?
No questions, sir.
All right, Ward 3?
No questions.
Ward 5?
No questions.
Ward 7?
Thank you very much for doing this. We appreciate it.
All right. Ward 6, I guess you don't have anything else, right?
I do not. Thank you.
I don't have anything either. I've had a chance to talk to Mr. Johnson on several occasions, and so we'll be happy to have him in the Clerk of Council's office. All in favor? All right, that's 6-0. Thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, 37.
Resolution of the City of Jackson, Mississippi to maintain ownership and control over all real property owned by the city at or around the Jackson Municipal Airport and resolving not to sell, transfer, or otherwise dispose of any such property without the approval of the Jackson City Council.
So moved.
Second. Been moved and properly second. Any questions or comments about this item? Mr. Harley?
Yes, I doing neighborhood and community meetings, even on my radio show, I've had calls in about the airport. Folks were told that we were going to give away land, sell land, do all sorts of things out at the airport, which is not true. What is true is the fact that we're putting some land in play. Economic development. We've owned this airport for over 60 years. How much money have we made for the land? I surmise that we've made $0 on it. Okay, so when the incorporation came, the good news is we had executive sessions. Because of sensitivity of the discussions, we didn't go public. I think that was a mistake. I think we should have talked about it a lot more, introduced it as much as we could to the public. But after 60 years, we have to do something. We are not making money. And if you believe in anything in the Bible, it talks about Matthew 25, the men Jesus gave talents to. One of them buried those talents. He called that person wicked and slothful. okay? We have to do something. I've been on this fight against the airport for over 10 years when it first started with the state takeover. I was there. I helped initiate the fight. And you will take this airport over my dead body. It's just that serious. So therefore, this is a confirmation against all the mistruths out there about selling and giving away and this and that and the other. And it sets everything in writing. Everything's going to have to go before city council. Everything's going to have to, the administration cannot do something on its own. That's what I keep telling folks. And folks say, well, we really don't believe it. Well, I'm going to put it in writing. We have it in writing, okay? Before anything happens to the airport, we will have, as a part of this amendment as well, as a part of this, this article, we will have public meetings. We will notify the public of every action concerning transfer. But what it gives us, we're in the driver's seat. We approve everything around there, who comes on the property, and we get payment. So this is an attempt with colleagues to move forward with this issue and to get the public all again behind us. Because 10 years ago, I was begging the support of the public, and we dropped the ball here. We dropped the ball, and we will correct that. If anyone have any questions, they can call the legal department, they can call the airport, they can call me, okay? But we're moving forward. We're not gonna be wicked or slothful. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anybody else have any questions or comments about this item?
All right. Do we have to amend this item, sir?
Amended to say what?
I saw a amended copy at the top. That was just a change.
We haven't amended the resolution
Yeah,
before,
Drew.
but you might as well amend it just to have the accurate, because we did make some changes today.
Yes.
And those changes are reflected in the copy that the council has. You might as well make an amendment to present the resolution as amended.
Mr. President, I make a motion.
Second.
That we amend it as council has stated.
All right, in the words of Kenneth Stokes, whoop, there it is. Now, any questions or comments about the amendment? All right, all in favor of the amendment? All right, that's 6-0. Now we have the item on the floor as amended. Are there any more questions or comments about this item as amended? Hearing none, all in favor? All right, thank you so much. It passes 6-0. Now, colleagues, I know we have a litany of discussion items, but we got a group and a gentleman who's well-known and beloved that's been sitting patiently. So if possible, I would like to go to the proclamation, item 47.
Proclamation?
Yes.
Declaring November proclamation?
Number 47.
47. Proclamation declaring November 28, 2025.
It says proclamation, item 47. 48 is a resolution.
Yes, do you want to go to the resolution or proclamation?
I'm gonna do the proclamation first.
Okay. 47.
Yeah.
Proclamation declaring November 28, 2025 as 1975 Jackson's Callaway High School State Football Championship Day.
So moved.
Second.
We don't vote on this. I know y'all ready.
Okay, whatever.
Mr. Horn, Mayor. Got your name by it.
I was approached by some of the members of the 1975 Callaway High School football team who went 12-0 that year and were named state champions. And we have a couple of gentlemen who are associated with that team. But we are holding the proclamation's actual presentation for the ceremonial office the day after Thanksgiving. down here at City Hall, and we'll present the proclamation at that time.
All right, thank you. Well, if you would like to just say a few words since you're here, Mr. Gentry, turn on the mic, please. And name for the record.
Jerome Gentry. Look a little different since
Yes, you do.
I didn't have a beard before, so he didn't recognize me. But I have Marcy Foster here with me. We're two of the members of that 1975 championship team. We want to thank Mayor Horn for the proclamation. I did want to show something. 50 years ago, the reason why November 28th is the day that we asked Mayor Horn to give us that date, because 50 years ago, November 28, 1975 is when we won the state championship. And at that time, that was our day by Mayor Russell Davis, 1975. And here's the actual picture of that. This is what the council looked like in 1975. That's the picture.
I see an afro.
And one member, which is Marcy Foster, is on that picture. He's the only, I hate to say this, only living member on that picture.
Oh, wow.
But this is the actual picture. But and also I have written a book about this team. Wrote it in 2008. But we're doing a 50th year anniversary. I wrote another edition of the 50th year anniversary. And the day after the 28th, we're having a book signing at the Holiday Inn on 55. I kind of throw that punch in from 11 to 3 o'clock.
All right, well, thank you so much. As a proud Charles Callaway alum, I really appreciate everything that y'all done, paving the way for our new athletes, our current athletes, and those who, all who came after you. Mr. Foster, would you like to say anything?
Just real quick. Thank you. Marcy Forrester, here at Jerome's bequest. Thank you, Mayor Horn and City Council. You're very kind to recognize mature fellows like us on such an occasion. I'm a graduate of Callaway High School. Mayor Horn, I was a classmate and teammate of your brother Calvin's for 6 years, first at Chastain Junior High and then at Callaway. Mr. Stokes, your sweet mother taught me English in the 9th grade at Chastain Junior High. But I guess we could just say thank you. You're very kind to remember that team. And we have two coaches who could not make it tonight, Hill Denson and Skip Bilbro. And but we would thank you and express gratitude on behalf of those coaches and all the players, and also recognize the memory of two coaches who are no longer with us, Odell Jenkins and our head coach, Charlie Allman, who, and all our coaches were legendary in their own right. And then our classmates who are no longer with us, Jerome's older brother, Napoleon Gentry, and Gary Walker, Alfonso Burks, Bill Crockett, Roy Coleman, but we accept that in their memory too. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I ask that the administration please extend invitations to the council for when you all do the honor. I appreciate that. Thank you,
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to get any royalties, but I have both an unsigned and signed copy of Mr. Gentry's book. I would encourage anyone who's interested in Jackson Public Schools integration and how unique the 1975 football team was to read the book. It's relatively short, but it is a fascinating story of a time when the best of Jackson came together at Callaway, and it's about a lot more than a football championship. It manifested that way. But as I read that book, I read a lot of just the best coming together. Terrence Shirley was on that team as well. So, I mean, just a lot of well-known people who came together. And that team, in a lot of ways, even though it was 50 years ago, reflects the best of Jackson, Mississippi. Thank you.
You're calling a lot of Bel Air names there, Mr. Tableson.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you said that. Thanks a lot, Pete. A lot of people don't remember Callaway's high school of the reason why it was built in 1966. It was the first school of choice in the state of Mississippi to be built. And that's history. And what that meant to the school of choice is that it was pre-integration, that any student, black or white, could attend that particular school. And it was the first school in the state of Mississippi that was built for that purpose. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you. And Mr. Gentry, I invite you to please bring some of those copies over to Callaway.
Will
To the
do.
library. Thank you so much. Thank you. Item 48.
Resolution honoring and commending Bobby Rush on the momentous occasion of his 92nd birthday.
Amen.
Right, hey, hey, hey.
Amen.
While Mr. Hartley and Mr. Rush make their way to the podium, did you bring your harmonica?
No, them dancing girls.
I didn't bring it tonight.
That's a given.
Got to kick up your legs.
What?
Come on. Mr. Rush is such an important part of our community, such an important part of our city.
Amen.
He continues to contribute over and over and over. His status is unparalleled around here. 3-time Grammy winner, 3 times. Are you up for it this time?
Up for it this time.
He's up for it this time again.
4 times.
Okay. 18 Blues Music Awards. The man is down to earth. I run into him in Walmart, Maxine's, Little Diner, all over the place. Healthier than I could ever hope to be.
Amen.
Okay. And so I wanted to take this time to just recognize him with this resolution. And it's signed, although it's coming from me, but it's coming from the entire council.
Amen.
Every single member here and the administration. Resolution honoring and commending Bobby Rush on the momentous occasion of his 92nd birthday. Whereas Bobby Rush, born Emmett Ellis Jr. on November the 10th, 1933, in Homer, Louisiana, is a legendary American blues musician, composer, performer whose career spanned over 7 decades and whose contribution has shaped the landscape of blues, soul, funk, and music and folk music. You're probably better reading this than I am, man. Don't have my glasses. Mr. Rush has earned widespread acclaim, including 3 Grammys, 18 Blues Music Awards, and induction into the Blues Hall of Fame, Mississippi Musicians Hall of Fame, and the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame, affirming his status as one of the most influential and enduring artists in American music history. And whereas his dynamic performances, innovative style, often referred to as folk funk, okay, and iconic songs such as Chicken Heads and Porcupine Meat have captivated audience worldwide and inspired generations of musicians. And whereas Bobby Rush has been a long-term resident of Jackson, Mississippi, specifically Ward 5. Turn off to Bobby Rush Boulevard, a couple houses down, that's where he is, where he has not only lived, but actively contributed to the culture and civic life of the community through mentorship, advocacy, and support of local arts and youth programs. Whereas his presence in Jackson has elevated the city's reputation as a hub for blues and soul music, and his commitment to community engagement has made a lasting impact on the lives of countless residents, such as me. And whereas on the occasion of his 92nd birthday, it is fitting to recognize and celebrate Bobby Rush's extraordinary life, artistic achievement, and unwavering dedication to the city of Jackson and Ward 5. Therefore, be it resolved that the Jackson City Council honors Bobby Rush for his unparalleled contribution to music and culture, his deep-rooted connection to Jackson, Mississippi, and his enduring legacy as a beacon of creativity, resilience, and community spirit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Councilman Vernon Hartley, along with all his council colleagues, do hereby honor and commend Bobby Rush on the grand occasion of his 92nd birthday. Give it up for him.
Thank you so much.
If you would, if we would just indulge one moment, this one thing I want him to share about how he put his first guitar together and what it was made out of.
One string guitar. First of all, I want to say thank you, Mayor, President, to all the other city council people who supported me so highly. I can't find words to tell you how much I appreciate you, what you have done, what you're doing, and what you plan to do. I put my first guitar together upside a wall when I was about 8 years old. My dad had been a preacher, a pastor for 2 churches. I put a brick at the top and a ball at the bottom. And the brick fell out and hit me in the head. I got real smart. I reversed it. Put the ball at the top, brick at the bottom. So I was playing this song. And I said, Dad, I need a guitar. He said, you see your cousin, he give you a guitar, maybe. That was his brother's child. So he gave me a guitar, and I hit it, I thought. You know, your granddad and grandmama and your dad knew everything. So finally one day, he said, Junior, I'm named after my father. He said, bring me that guitar here, boy. I brought the guitar. He said, let me play a song I used to play for a little girl when I was older than you. I thought he gonna sing about my mama, either glory, glory, hallelujah, when I laid my burden down. But he didn't say that. He said, me and my gal went to turkey pin hunting. She fell down and I saw something. I said, Dad.
Whoa!
I said, sing it again, Daddy. My mother was in the kitchen cooking. She said, you don't sing that song to that boy. He went to sing it again. My mother was coming up behind me. He said, me and my gal went to turkey pin hunting. She fell down and I saw something. I said, Daddy, sing it again. And what I thought as a little boy, I know the first bird, she fell down, he saw something. I figured the second bird, he would tell me what he saw. So I said, sing it again, Daddy. My mother walked up and I said, me and my gal went to turkey pin. I said, Daddy, here come Mama. He looked around. I said, Daddy, I'm trying to, so my mama won't hear this. I said, what's your hat on? He said, nothing, boy, but a dress. I said, how big was it? She said, oh, about 350 pounds, about that wide. I said, what's your hat on? He said, nothing but a dress. And the wind was blowing. If you got it. He said again, so me and my gal with the turkey pin hunting. She fell down and I kept running. I never know what the song gonna be. But I said in joking fashion, thank y'all for letting me just talk to you for a minute, because this city and the city councilman and all the people around been so kind to me. When you get 92 years old, you've been around a long time. And I still can jump a little bit, but not as high, but I can jump a little bit. I said it because I came up in a town. See, we come a long way. I'm listening to everything happening today. Council, we come a long way, Stokes, but we still got a long way to go. The thing I used to do when I was a young boy, I can't do no more. I used to carry water 15 miles for 50 cents a day. It's a shame a boy 9 years old had to work that hard every day. I used to pick cotton in a cotton field where I used to live. I'm still picking cotton, but I own a piece of the field. I'm free, can't you see? I got the shackles off my feet and the chains off my mind. You all give that to me. Make me keep going and going and going. And I wish everybody would live in Ward 5. But since you don't, we all gonna move to Ward 3.
Yay! Yay! So move.
I said all that because all the guys been so kind to me. Thank you for everything you have done, what you're doing, what you're playing the president. Good to see you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
I got to get down and see your dad. Me and your dad got to talk. Can't y'all see? Me and his dad a good friend. Can't y'all see the we kind of look like a little bit there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he may be my son, you know.
Thank you, Mr. Russ. If you don't mind coming down front to get a picture with us, please. Can you come down front and get a picture with us?
Oh, Lord.
Hey, you can't come back to City Hall without the girls. You got to bring the girls back now. You can't come to City Hall without the girls.
I don't think they got what you said. What you said
All right, colleagues, since we're down here on the agenda, let's go ahead and, item 49.
Monthly financial reports as required according to section 21-35-13 of the Mississippi Code annotated of 1972.
Show of hands, receive your report, please. Ms. Stokes, you received your report?
I'm gonna make the clerk give me mine.
All right, everybody got them. All right, very good. Now, please, let's go to discussion. I will say, for my item, I'm gonna hold mine. Coleman item, that's a pretty sensitive issue, and I was expecting the family to be here tonight. I don't see them here, so I'm gonna hold that to the next council meeting. Also, personnel matters, we would need to go into executive session. City Attorney, you have anything to go into executive session about tonight?
No, I have one update.
Okay, well, we'll just come back to mine then. Let's do item 38. Thank you. Item 38, Mr. Tableson.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we just honored Bobby Rush, it's appropriate to thank him for headlining our National Folk Festival as well. If we're going to celebrate culture in Jackson, there's no better living example than Bobby Rush.
That's right.
I also would be remiss if I didn't thank the unsung employees of the city who spent 3 months pulling this festival together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about the department directors. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about our everyday employees who stepped up. And so I'd like to recognize publicly and put into the record the following individuals who made it happen. Karna Stimley, Taylor Houston, Yika Hoover, Letha Garrett, Lakeisha Weathers, James Caldwell, Tyson Phillips, Christine Welch, McDarrell Poulard, Frederick Suttles, Cleotha Sanders, and then also from Mark Hodges. And finally, Brandon Jackson for finding us the money. Again, all department directors stepped up, but these are everyday employees who went above and beyond to make sure this festival happened. They don't get enough recognition, and so I wanted to publicly thank them. Had it not been a council meeting, I would have asked them to come over, but it didn't seem right to make them give up their evening tonight for that recognition. Thank you so much, Mr. President and council members.
Thank you, Mr. Tableson. I also want to be clear that the clerk of council's office and the council members worked really hard that weekend too.
I'm sorry. Obviously, first and foremost, hold on. Thank the mayor and city council for the wherewithal to figure out how to get this done between July and November. And I apologize, both the clerk of the council and the city clerk's office both had volunteer teams that did a lot on Friday. In fact, I met with Ms. Jordan that Friday of the festival, and she was like, hey, we got to hurry up because I got to go volunteer. So thank you, Mr. Gazelle. I miss them. I figured you recognize your own.
Yeah, council members, we worked hard too. Very good. We had a good time though. It was a really great festival. I'm looking forward to next year. Item 39. Wait, that's a COVID. We go agree to continue, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Foote, item 40.
Yes, sir. This is, it concerns a unclaimed property, and I just became aware of this recently, but there was a check that the city got from the state treasurer's office for $600,000 about 2 years ago. And this check was never cash. It was never deposited. And so the treasurer still had the money. And then they issued the check, reissued the check. And Mayor Horn has received the check and all. But it really gives me grave concern about the processes that the city either had, or maybe still has in place, that a $600,000 check would come into the city and it would not even be deposited or cashed, for a city that's scrambling for money every chance they get. I would really think that this warrants an investigation of some kind of audit of the processes we have in place for monies that come into the city. And we've also got a federal judge, Judge Wingate, who wants to do forensic artist audit of tracking down where the Siemens money is. So I think that this exercise, and where the city council is supposed to be the power of the purse, but here's something, $600,000 comes in, nothing happens. We don't even know about it. And then, it surfaces again to the treasurer, brings it to the surface again 2 years later. We need to really seriously review, and we need lots of transparency in the processes we have that handles our monies. And I just wanted to make sure that was brought to the surface so that the council knows about it. And we need to make sure that we've got processes in place that protect the monies that come in for the citizens of Jackson. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Foote. Mr. Stokes, he's gonna hold his items. Mr. Hartley just said he's gonna hold his item. I'm gonna hold item 44. I'm gonna hold 45 because that's gonna require executive session. Item 46. No, I'm gonna wait because I was hoping that the family would be here. No, we can wait. I just got some developments.
Drew Martin, City Attorney. I just had one update because you may get some media questions or other questions about it if people decide to cover it. There are two large lawsuits against the city that both allege essentially that over many years, the city mismanaged its water system in ways that resulted in lead leaching into the water and exposing various people with lead to their system, which can be damaging, obviously. One of those cases we call Sterling. It's Sterling versus City of Jackson. Judge Johnson, federal judge here in our district, dismissed all of the federal claims against the city, I would say about 8 months or so ago. The plaintiffs appealed that order to the Fifth Circuit. Yesterday, the Fifth Circuit issued a ruling that I'm still working through, to be honest with you. It's about a 50-page opinion, and usually an opinion is one judge that writes what the opinion is. There's 3 judges that hear these, it's called a panel. In this one, we have 3 different judges that all wrote their own opinions, which makes it a little bit confusing in piecing together what the real reasons are for their decision. The short answer is, as to one of the dismissed claims, they voted to overrule and send that back to the court. The longer answer is we have other options available still within the Fifth Circuit. We're reviewing those options now. We'll be meeting on it this week, and I'll have more of a detailed update for you in the future. But I just wanted you to know about that in general. So what people will report is the Fifth Circuit has overturned the dismissal of one of these claims. That is true, but it's only true right now. There is a process called an en banc review that allows us to have the whole Fifth Circuit review this case. We're considering that. This also, frankly, may be an issue that's worthy of taking to the United States Supreme Court. So we'll have more of an update later.
All right, thank you. All right. And just reiterate on 45, we really do need to have this discussion, but I would prefer if most of the council was actually present. I don't want to have to, deal with telephonic stuff in the executive session this time. So we will move it to the next agenda, and I really appreciate y'all's patience with that. All right, any announcements? Is there anything else to come before this body? Mr. Harley?
Yeah, just one quick announcement. West Central Jackson Community Improvement Association will have a meeting next on Tuesday, next Tuesday, I believe. And that will include Pecan Park Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And also, my annual sweet potato crop drop will take place this Sunday. We have 2 locations. One is at Grove Park, start at 11 o'clock, and then the second location will be at Westside Center on Wiggins Road, and that will start at 3, I think, right, Valerie? I'm trying to find the flyer here. But anyway, we'll put it out on here we go. Yeah, it starts at 3 o'clock from 3 to 5 in Westside Civic Club. And at Grove Park, it begins at 11 a.m. So we have about 6,000 pounds of sweet potatoes. Council members, you're invited to come out. Clerk of Council's office, you're also invited to come out and put those arms to work. Anything else to come before this body?
I have one more thing.
Okay, Ms. Brown Thomas.
Okay, I want to just thank Keeping Jackson Beautiful for the cleanup they did in my ward on this past Saturday. We tackled a lot of area, McDowell and Teresa. And when I say if y'all have not went through there, it looked marvelous how we cleaned up. And also want to thank Miss Miller with Mayfair Subdivision and everybody that just came out to make it happen.
That's what it takes. Thank you so much. Is there anything else to come before this body? Hearing none, call the time, Councilman Parkinson. We're adjourned.